All right, welcome back to the Triple M podcast where we talk about movement, mindset, and motivation. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about failure and how we can kind of manipulate it to kind of work in our favor. So, this episode is about failure being feedback. And when people hear about the word failure, they think it's something that's quite negative and quite you don't want to be labeled as a failure. But like, if you know anyone that's done anything significant in their lives that's positive, they've been a success in their realm or have achieved great things, there's probably been points in their lives where they failed, and we've all kind of failed at something at some point. But I kind of want to change the narrative and the mindset that failure has to be a negative thing. I think personally failure is more of a positive thing than a negative, and I'm going to tell you why in this episode. So, as I love to talk about the gym, we're going to dive into failure in the gym. So like in the gym, you've got to train hard. You've got to take your muscles to failure to grow and see adaptation and see change. And to a lot of people, training hard, getting sweaty, making noises. To be fair, you don't really need to be making many noises, but some people are quite dramatic. I am one of them at times, but that's when I'm really locked in and in the zone. So it's a very rare occasion. But you do have to fail to succeed, and you have to fail to grow. And it doesn't mean you need to lift heavy weights. It doesn't need to mean anything aggressive whatsoever. But like, for you to get from A to B, you need to kind of to experience a level of discomfort. And if you're never in that level or area of discomfort, you might see a little bit of change. You might see a little bit of growth, but no way near what you would have ever wanted. And like, a lot of people come to me, they inquire, they work with me, and they give the sort of energy that they don't really want to be pushed that hard. It goes in one ear, comes out the other. I'm gonna smash you anyway. And the reason why is because people want to feel like they're getting their money's worth, especially working with someone that they're paying a substantial amount of money to work with. And like, what I've kind of learned from my experience is that you've only got to listen to a little bit of what people say. Because if you listen to everything, they're not going to end up feeling like they've gotten what they want. And I know it kind of seems like a bit of a mind game, but I've been doing this for 6-7 years now. I know how to play the mind games in the right way. So definitely got to push yourselves. Push anyone, whether it's a one-to-one client or it's you just in the gym training hard and working hard. Because what you're currently struggling with is going to be something that you're going to find very comfortable, or even your warm-up. And you've got to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone from time to time. Not all the time, because we don't need to be in that overly elevated level of stress, because stress can be a killer, but stress can also be a propeller as well. So I feel like it's important to have a little bit of stress in life, because if we're always complacent and we're always comfortable, there's never that sort of sense of urgency. But if we're too stressed, blood pressure is going to increase, muscles are going to tighten, attitude's going to change, behavior's going to change. Those are the sort of things that we want to be able to avoid and manage to the best of our abilities. So yeah, I've kind of discussed about stress being a killer and stress being a propeller as well. And like, if we dive into stress being a killer as well, like, there doesn't necessarily need to be many symptoms. Like, people die because of stress. People die because of having things like high blood pressure. And like, there's a massive connection between stress and that. And if you feel like you're in that sort of state of elevated stress, you've got to do something about it, whatever that is. Whether that's going for a walk, going for a run, going to the gym, loads of different things. There's so many things that you can do to release and kind of manage your stress. And if you obviously want me to go into stress in more detail on a different episode, please just obviously send me a message on Instagram, hit the comment section, give some feedback, and I'll definitely be able to deep dive on that in a whole completely different episode. Because I think if we're kind of talking about improving our health and improving our lives and just kind of giving ourselves that 360 transformation, that's definitely something that's going to be really, really important, that maybe in the industry right now isn't spoken about too much. What was once hard, and I have touched on this a little bit already, what was once hard for you isn't anymore. So then for you to kind of get to that point, you've had to fail. you've had to kind of come out of your comfort zone. And if you feel like you're someone that never comes out of your comfort zone, don't be surprised if you don't achieve the things that you want. The best things in life are on the other side of a challenge. So don't steer away from a challenge, run towards it. And I kind of like to talk about failure as in like, it's a positive thing, but run towards it. Don't run away from it, run towards it. Like I said before at the start, or you've seen people that are successful, whether that's athletes, musicians, influencers, or just people that you know that are successful, like they run towards failure, they run towards risk, obviously take calculated risk, but they run towards these things. They don't run away from them, because if they stayed in their little shell, on their little circle, in their little hole, they probably wouldn't be at that point. Us as human beings, we seek progression. And like, whether people agree or disagree, I'm not going to listen, because we all do. We don't want to stay the same from year to year. We don't want to have the same bodies. That could be different from person to person. That's just me. We don't want to have the same bank accounts. We don't want to have the same problems. We don't want to have the same issues. And we have to kind of put ourselves out of our comfort zone and sometimes run towards that failure position to kind of get over the hurdle and kind of, you know what, to be able to reflect back in 2026 at the start, I'm better than when I was in 2025. And that probably took some effort. That probably took a little bit of failure. That probably took a little bit of discomfort. And like, we seek growth, whether that's in our fitness, our health, because health and fitness for me are two different things. Our lives, our relationships, our careers, we seek development. We don't want to just stay at the same point from year to year. And that's going to obviously require some effort and some dedication and maybe some challenge. So run towards that. Yeah, like, just for me as well, like, let's get out of this negative mindset of just being a failure is a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Top failure over here. Let's keep failing, because I'm going to keep growing and I'm going to keep moving forwards. But like, if you don't succeed at something, I know this seems quite cringy and a bit weird, but like, if you fail once, go again. I'm not going to tell any of you how many times it took me to pass my driving test. I'm not. Because it's embarrassing. And I failed a substantial amount of times. Doesn't make me a bad driver though, as much as I like to say. But my sort of mindset there, I can't stop laughing because it's so bad. My mindset there, to be fair, my driving instructor was draining my money a little bit, to be fair. He probably scammed me. If he's hearing this, that's what I believe. My mindset there was, all right, I failed. Let's go again. Don't be disheartened, because that feeling of disheartened will cripple you and it will stop you from getting to what you want. And like, if you want something bad enough in this life, people, you will do whatever it takes to make it work and to get to it and to achieve it. And like, if you get knocked down once, just get back up. And like, you see this a lot online or just like in books, but the people that succeed are the people that don't quit. Whatever it is, just don't quit. You can take hits, you can meet hurdles, but just don't quit. Just keep moving forwards, keep going through those hurdles, keep running through those brick walls. Not literally, though, I don't want you to have a concussion, but just keep going through it. Keep going through it, because yeah, that's sort of my mindset towards things. Like, if I fail at something, okay, cool, I didn't get it today, let's try it another day. See it from a positive perspective. And it's sometimes easier said than done to see things from a positive perspective, but a lot of the time when we're in a negative mind state, we're not going to achieve anything positive out of that. And I know you're not going to feel positive all the time, but that's where you've just got to try your best to avoid those negative intrusive thoughts that come into your mind. Also, on to the next thing, reflection. Use it as a reflection. And I've probably touched on this a little bit already in the episode, but just kind of like, wherever you're going and whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever you're doing, if you've kind of missed the mark a little bit, use it as a reflection. And I'll always come back to these examples of in the gym and training and that sort of stuff, because it's what I know. Like, if you don't achieve, for example, a certain amount of reps or a certain amount of weight on an exercise, use it as a reflection. Why didn't I achieve it? Is it too difficult right now? Is it not my day? Am I not feeling it? Are my energy levels low? there's usually a lot of reasons for why things that don't happen. Sometimes they're negative, and sometimes they can be positive. Do you know what I mean? So just kind of like use failure as an opportunity to reflect on where you are and kind of allow it to ignite a bit of a drive and a bit of a fire in your belly to go after it and chase it, because you're going to be creating new boundaries and new levels and new expectations and new standards for yourself. And like, if you keep running towards it, in 3 to 6 months time, you're going to be a different person. And I've seen it with people in the gym as well. Like, I am so not dictatorish, but like I take a lot less BS from people now, because I see the best, I push them to their limits, and I want to get them to where they want to be. Like, I internalize their goals. Maybe probably a little bit too much, but I just generally care. I'm just a naturally caring person. But like, if they continue to keep going through those barriers and keep pushing and pushing and pushing, they're not going to recognize themselves. And it doesn't take long to see dramatic change. It can take long, but like, think about it like this. If you give yourself 30 minutes to do something, you're going to do it in 30 minutes. If you give yourself a week to do something, you're going to take a week to do it. And you're not always going to be able to go at 100% full pelt. There's going to be times though that you can push harder, and there's going to be times that you can pull back. So think about that a little bit. You don't always have to be moving at the same sustainable level. If you want to get to somewhere fast, you can, but understand you're probably not going to be able to maintain it very long. And if you want to kind of take longer to get to destinations and get longer to achieve things, that's fine. There's also a way of doing that as well. So just to kind of finish the episode off, not rambling as much as I used to be, which is good. I think the episode is quite short. Damn. Just to round the episode off, I want to kind of leave you guys with a question. Something to think about. When is the last time you failed at something? And it's a bit of a weird question, but think about that. When is the last time you failed at something? And if you can't remember, you haven't been failing enough. And if you can remember, use it as reflection, use it as fire, use it as motivation to push forwards and kind of, you know what, I failed at that thing, but I'm going to try again next week and see if I can get closer to it. Even if you can move the needle forwards and get closer to it, and you may have not achieved that certain thing, but you've moved closer, you've made progression, that's fine. Think about it though. When is the last time you failed at something? And I want to kind of leave you guys with that positive mindset of just run towards failure, not away from it. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, so you don't miss out any of the episodes that are to come. And like I always say, if you have any suggestions, if you have anything that you want me to speak about, or anyone that you want me to speak to, give us a shout, let us know. I'll try my best to make it happen. But otherwise, guys, thank you again.